Morning, everyone. I am Deepika Reddy Nalla, currently serving as Media and Communications Director. On behalf of Telangana American Telugu Association, we extend heartfelt thanks to each and everyone for joining the webinar and waiting for so long. And yes, Telangana American Telugu Association was founded by a group of like-minded individuals inspired and guided by a vision and generosity of Dr. Paila Reddy Garu, a billionaire entrepreneur renowned for his philanthropic spirit. His unwavering commitment to helping those in need truly reflects the essence of noble humanitarian. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Paila Reddy Garu for laying the foundation of this extraordinary TTA community. We would like to express our sincere thanks to our Advisory Council Chair, Dr. Vijaypal Reddy Garu, Co-Chair, Dr. Mohan Reddy Patlola Garu, and AC members Bharat Madadi Garu and Srini Anugu Garu. We deeply appreciate the opportunity and your continued support. We would also like to express our sincere gratitude to our dynamic president, Naveen Reddy Mallipeddi Garu, a dedicated and visionary leader who truly embodies the mission and values of our nonprofit organization. His active engagement in numerous social service initiatives highlights his unwavering commitment to community welfare and positive societal change. Leaders like President Naveen Garu are truly rare, and we are privileged to have such an inspiring and passionate individual guiding our organization forward. Now I request Naveen Garu to talk just a couple of words about today's webinar, please.
Thank you, Deepika. First of all, let me thank our founder, Dr. Pailamalla Reddy Garu, and our chair, Vijaypal Reddy Garu, and co-chair, Mohan Reddy Patlola Garu, and our members, Bharat Madadi Garu, and Srini Anu Garu, and also my entire EC team who is with me and who is working so hard in doing events and putting all the structure together. Thank you to EC team and our past president, Vamshi Kancharkuntla, who created many initiatives and who started lot of initiatives with energy, positive energy. And thanks to Vamshi and my entire BOD team, standing committee team, and RVPs and RCs. And special thanks to our speakers, both speakers, Amit ji and Nataraj ji, and our moderator Latha, and our CME director Srikanth, and our executive director Kavitha Garu, and general secretary Shiva, and web chair Narendar Garu, and media director Deepika. Thank you for and a lot of others who is working hard behind the scenes. So and first, let me thank for joining, and Nataraj for accepting my invitation. And Nataji, since a long time. When I was talking to them, I thought like energy. They have a lot of. I know it's 1 hour is not enough for them, but let's at least let me give the introduction. That way, everybody can connect and they know their expertise. And when I was talking to Latha last couple of months back, I we met a couple of other individuals who is already in the different types of health things, and then I thought Latha is a good moderator who can talk to Amit ji and Nataraj ji, and the whole session, the webinar started with their knowledge. So Srikanth is our CME director, who is taking last he did yoga sessions and all the stuff, and these two individuals has those health related stuff which is very important to each and everyone, not just for TTA, other outside TTA also. Amit bhai, thank you very much, and Natarji, thank you for sharing your insights, and we want many more sessions like this, and let's do it. Let me request our CMA director Srikanth Garu to do more webinars with many more individuals like Amit ji and Natarji. Thank you very much, Amit bhai, and Natarji, and Latha.
Thank you
for moderating, and thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
to all the participants.
Thank you, Naveen Garu. As you mentioned, yes, this is going to be definitely a productive session on health. And as Naveen Garu, President Naveen Garu mentioned, like we are always thankful for our EC board, standing committees, RVPs, and everyone. And yes, today's webinar was thoughtfully organized by TTA Health and Wellness Advisor Srikanth Reddy, Gali, Garu, and co-chair Ahlad Reddy. And yes, we would definitely love to thank all the participants for joining us today. And now I would like to introduce our Dr. Latha Garu as today's moderator, and she'll be guiding you through the session and introducing all our today's speakers. Latha Garu, over to you.
Thank you. So, namaste and welcome everyone. We are so glad you could join us for today's webinar on bringing ancient wisdom into the modern health practices. And we are diving into how Ayurveda and Yoga, the two time-tested disciplines, can support the wellness in today's busy world. Many people today, as we know, are dealing with issues like insulin resistance and pre-diabetes as often as like early in 40s. That's why we have invited to these two incredible experts to show us how the holistic approaches can lead to real positive change, like by diabetes reversal and prevention. So let me start introducing our first speaker, Yogi Nataraj. He's not just like a yoga or a Ayurvedic teacher. He's a true visionary in integrating the health. Uh, his work like weaves together with yoga, Ayurveda, mudra meditation, and even Vedic astrology, all grounded into the spiritual healing and Krishna consciousness. And Yogi Nataraji, like he specialized in helping people manage and even reverse the conditions like diabetes and thyroid imbalance through personalized Ayurvedic and yogic guidance. All these services are offered virtually from his base in Las Vegas. So he's currently pursuing a PhD in Ayurvedic medicine with a focus on diabetes reversal, and his academic path includes like an engineering degree from Manipal and a master's from Bangalore. But his impact doesn't, it just goes far beyond the degrees. He lost like he also hosts like online classes, and along with his life partner, he write books on detox and weight loss. And he also founded like Ayurvedic ghee and healthy spices, like a family-owned enterprise, like promoting clean and authentic ingredients. So, at his core, Yogi Nataraji believes that what we eat mindfully, live in tune with our natural rhythms, and stay connected with the spiritual roots, we can overcome many modern health challenges. So, welcome Yogi Nataraji to our wonderful TTA session on the holistic approach. We would like to learn more about you in this 1 hour.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me introduce our second speaker, Dr. Amit Shah, a board-certified internal medicine physician. He's based in Charlotte. And what makes Dr. Shah truly unique is his passion for blending the modern medicine with the Ayurvedic wisdom. And he also chairs like Ayurvedic Consortium for American Association of Physicians of Indian origin. And he's working to bring these like ancient principles into our everyday clinical care in the United States. And as we know, Dr. Shah sees firsthand how bridging the Eastern and the Western approaches, like the modern diagnostics paired with the preventive and holistic practices, can lead to better long-term health. So let's give us a warm welcome to both Yogi Nataraji and Dr. Shah. And along with you, even I'm excited and grateful to learn from your expertise and insights today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's launch a first poll, like so that we can know how many in our audience know. Like the first question is like, what comes to mind when we hear to the word Ayurveda? So, like, does the audience want to give their replies in the chat or? So, okay, yeah. The first question I have for Nataraji is like, how did you first like become interested in Ayurveda and yoga, and what inspired you to integrate these practices?
Basically, in India, we know that everyone since childhood has a curiosity. What is this? Is this a science? Is this, you know? So since my school days, I used to practice some form of yoga, but that got me very interested because yoga is not just connected with the physical strength,
Yeah,
but I had questions like, why do we even exist? And if I am born, why am I born in this family? Why is somebody born rich? And especially when I went to college, we could see that something was amiss. We are not. I was inspired by watching serials like Chanakya, like what happened to the ancient system of education, and all these questions finally led me to, because ultimately, uh, yoga or spirituality is about experience. And I would say a series of spiritual experiences when I went to different temples, mountains, I went to different ashrams. A series of experiences then led me to pursue this path as something that will not only make you materially stronger, happier, but also awaken that something which you cannot find in your day to day life. That is your soul, that is your spirituality. So it's like a one. So yoga has a path. So the path is asana, pranayama, bandha, mudra. Mudra, so I wrote a book on mudras also, which is available on Amazon. So mudra means to be happy, right? Simple hand gestures. Then there is also a state called samadhi. Samadhi means, I was amazed to understand the definition, is a state of perfect intelligence. Like, for example, when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I was mind boggled to understand one sentence that changed my whole understanding of Bhagavad Gita, because I was thinking Bhagavad Gita is, some emotional, there is a lot of bhakti, it's there. But one sentence where Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita that body produces blood cells as long as there is the soul in the body.
Yes, that's true.
So he challenges the scientists there, saying, you cannot produce blood outside the human body. And this was spoken like 50 years ago. He wrote the commentary, he wrote that sentence. And even today, you cannot make blood outside the human body. And he also challenged scientists, saying, even if I give you everything that the body has, every part that the body has, you cannot make a live human, right? You need Atma, the soul. So that is why modern science is beneficial, is very good, but it has limitations. But those limitations are explained in the spiritual books, and we need to explore them. It's present. And practicing yoga, the goal is not only good health, but good health leads to a good mind to explore your inner self, what's hidden within you, that is the soul. And it's not just a query for trying to find out what the soul is, but it explains, like most people watch movies, like I was amazed by the themes of the movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, and they are looking for fountain of youth. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is described as always being youthful, Yogeshwara. So one who performs yoga is always youthful. And the soul never ages beyond 16 years of age. So if you discover that, you are always youthful. So all these things, a series of these wonderful experiences, my own practices, and somehow from my horoscope also, I do astrology. So one astrologer told me, okay, this is just like we find yogis who have done some yoga in their past life, this life they get attracted. So kind of this is my goal and mission in this life, I would say.
Thank you so much. And it's like how you are putting them different fields together and getting. I know there's everything is connected, but at the same time to think which are the components to connect and get into the like. It's really
Correct.
amazing to understand that. Thanks for sharing. And the next question is for Dr. Amit ji. Can you explain, like, as we know, when we talk about Ayurveda, some people think like it's a herbal remedies or like traditional medicine or doshas. So, can you explain to our audience, like, how could you like the doshas in a way that's easy to understand, and what are some ways we can discover like our own unique dosha, like a makeup type markup?
Yeah, thank you. So the word itself, Ayur plus Veda. Ayur means life, Veda is science or knowledge. So the whole healing system or ancient wisdom, which is based on our larger Vedic philosophy, and it is, if you may have read the history, how the Ayurveda and yoga and all this came to the Vedic philosophy, goes back to 2,500 years back, and the founder of Ayurveda, Charak, the founder of Patanjali, I mean, founder of yoga, who is the name is Patanjali, and Natarajan mentioned about Chanakya. They were all actually part of the alumni of what I call at that time the Harvard University, used to be in Taxila, in which is currently in near Rawalpindi, Pakistan. But that used to be the Harvard of the world at that time, and lot of great minds actually were trained during that time. Coming back to Ayurveda, Ayurveda is so natural and still so scientific that it is still a very much relevant in a 21st century. And what I can compare the principle of Ayurveda, and that will connect with the dosha. As you all know, the anything in the universe is made of what is called Panch Mahabhuta, which is earth, water, fire, air, and space. There is nothing in the universe which exists without these five elements. Now, those who are in the scientific field, they know we learn the chemical table.
Yes.
If you think about chemical table, there are gases, there are water elements, and there are a lot of other metal elements. But those are all represented and simplified in these five elements of Panch Mahabhuta. So when a life is generated, whether it is human life or any other life, plant, animals, there is a combination of these Panch Mahabhuta in a different format, in a different elements, in a different concentration, and the Lord makes a recipe. That recipe is very much individualized. So even our genetic formations, when it occurs, everyone has an individual genome, and this genome represents different elements, different genetic codes, etc., etc. So out of these five elements came the three major life forces. So these five elements, again, to simplify, there is earth, there is a water, there is a fire, there is air, and there is a space. Out of these five elements, three important life forces or dosha, or what we call mind body type, came into existence, what we call dosha. Kapha dosha, pitta dosha, vata dosha. Kapha dosha represents primarily earth and somewhat water. Pitta dosha primarily represents fire, to some degree water. And vata dosha, which is wind, represents air and a space. And now all of us have these three different life forces, however, they're different compositions. So I may have some pitta dosha, say for example, 45%. I may have a kapha dosha or kapha energy, could be somewhere around 35%. And then I may have vata dosha 20%. Everybody is different. However, everybody has a one dosha which is the predominant. Say, for example, myself, if I talk about myself, when I evaluated my dosha composition, which actually is very easy for all of us to do so, and I would recommend that all of you go on. There are very reliable, credible sites, whether it is Maharshi Ayurvedic University, Art of Living, Deepak Chopra site. They all have now a dosha quiz, which everybody can take. And when you answer those questions in an honest way, you will know your dosha composition. But one of the dosha would predominant for your mind body type, which will govern your primarily functionality, metabolism, the way you approach the world, the way you think. Similarly, it's not about who we are. It is, yes, it is important. The composition is important. That will define yourself. And that should be the first step in the journey of this health and wellness, to know yourself first. Once you know yourself first, and then you know your family members and friends, you will be amazed to actually start interacting in a different way. I'll give you example. A pitta dosha predominant person who, and pitta dosha, by the way, represents and there could be a slide, actually, presentation I had sent to it, if we are able to put the slide about dosha. But the pitta dosha represents fire. That means the person predominantly is sharp, intelligent, dynamic, will-powered. He's like a mover and shaker. He's a leader. And everything in the life he will be approaching with this life force or this mind body type. Kapha dosha primarily represents earth. And just like earth, which is solid but not moving much. So the predominantly kapha personality or kapha mind body type person would be slightly broad structured, laid back, but very nourishing. They don't want to move much. They are not the movers and shakers, but they are very much family oriented. They always think about safety and security. So that is a classical kapha mind body type. Vata dosha, which is the third one, which is also a unique life energy and mind body type, which represents wind primarily. They are relatively slim, but they are creative. However, they are jumpy, just like wind can be fluctuating. The Vata personality or mind body type, they have so much energy and creativity, but they many times jump from one idea to another idea to the another idea. So if you start thinking about who primarily you are, who your family members are, and you will start literally interacting in a different way once you know who you are. I'll give you one simple example. Say, for example, you have a vacation coming up in 4 months, and how these three different personality actually will interact. So the Pitta personality guy would actually decide where he wants to go or she wants to go, and he or she will make it happen. And Pitta personality always thinks about how or why we cannot make things happen. As opposed to that, a classical Kapha personality or mind body type, who always thinks about safety and security, will start thinking about why we need to go first. So the Kapha personality primarily always will think, do we need to do this thing? Convince me why I should do it. Because I feel like we are okay.
Yes.
The third piece, the Vata personality, will take it differently. The Vata personality being wind and fluctuating and creative, they will say, yes, let's go here. But then after 2 weeks, they can change the mind and they say, no, 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 let's go to Miami instead of Boston. Or let's go to this, let's go to this. Vata personality will, what we call jumpy, fluctuant personality,
Yes.
but they have a lot of creativity. So if you start thinking this wellness journey, my suggestion is to start knowing your predominant dosha and then start understanding these dynamics between you, the family members, and friends, and
Yeah,
lot
thanks,
of
Amit
things.
ji. Yeah, this is really the way, like scan yourself, as our elders say, that first know about yourself, and then you can
Exactly.
point to others. So it's very nice, how you shared us the basic concepts of how to know about our own dosha, or like how to link the dosha to a personality ways, and it's really interesting to know about it. And yeah, sure, we'll come back to that question for sure. So I would like to pose the next question to Yogi Nataraji. I know a lot of people here are interested in managing things like diabetes and hypertension. Can you share us a little bit about how you use yoga and Ayurveda together to help people reverse diabetes? So I know there's like a lot of curiosity within the audience to know about to hear from your words.
Right. So thank you. That's my PhD thesis, and I'm only left with the technical writing as of now. So, due to stress, like in between 5 6 years of my life, I went through a lot of stress, and I developed diabetes, and I was shocked, like what happened. So, I used to travel a lot, drink too much coffee because of the traveling. Because when you drive, you are you want to keep awake, so you drink a lot of coffee. But like just like Amiji was saying, we don't realize when you eat something too much or you eat the wrong thing, it is imbalancing the dosha. For example, you take too much coffee. What happens? It builds up acidity. Okay. Now, 1 day, 2 days, fine. But when you do it every day over a period of time, your acidity level has gone very high. Okay. Now, similarly, like most clients that I have seen who have diabetes in my diabetes reversal program, especially our Indian community, what I see, we eat carbs 3 times a day: morning idli,
Yes,
dosa, then
exactly.
idli, right? 3 times rice. So, if you understand the cause, we are not eating a balanced diet. We are eating, so for example, in the modern sense, if you look at it, you need to have some carb, but mainly your body needs two essential things. One is protein, okay? You need essential proteins because your muscles need to be replaced, and you need essential fats because all your nerve, brain, spinal cord, everything is fat. Okay? You need good fat. Okay? Now, what's happened? Instead of essential protein, our diet is mainly carbs, right? Too much
So how did
rice.
it shift from modern way? Like I know, most of our Indian traditions are how we means if you think of great grandparents and all, like they have a balanced life. So where
Right.
where that shift happened?
So, what I see is that first there were variety. If you look at the dynamics, there were more than 5,000 varieties of rice. Okay. And there were more than 500 varieties of wheat. But today, only like 50 varieties of rice or 5 varieties of wheat, gluten heavy,
That's true.
because of this GMO, monocropping,
Yeah,
and all
that's
these things. In fact, if you read a book, there's a book you should read, which is the main cause of diabetes. This doctor writes, it's called the wheat belly.
true.
And he says that eating wheat causes the most allergies. And he told most of his clients to quit wheat. Most of their allergies, pre-diabetes, everything went away. So in Ayurveda, what happens is if you don't eat according to, just like Amitji said, why is it important to know which dosha is imbalanced? For example, you just keep on eating wheat heavy, then what happens? It also builds up acidity. Okay. And the wheat, I looked at a video, I was shocked. Today's wheat, for example, I'm just giving you one example of the food. Today's wheat. So every food, when God makes it, it has protein, carb, everything balanced. And wheat is supposed to make you stronger. In fact, all songs of Krishna offering, Bhoga Arati and all that, there is a lot of wheat preparations. But when in 1950s, when they modified the wheat genetically, what they did, the protein molecules went down and the carb sugar molecule went high.
Sure, sure.
Most of my clients, when they eat wheat, their sugar shoots up to
Mhm.
to double, triple their normal sugar, and I was shocked. So the second thing, what I found, which is against Ayurvedic norm, in Ayurveda, the principle is very, very simple. Follow the sun when you eat. Okay, so morning it's light, you have a good lunch, and then you have a light dinner. Pretty simple. But today's lifestyle, everybody has a light lunch, right? And has a heavy dinner,
True.
right? For example, I was sitting in Montreal Hare Krishna temple. I was doing a presentation there. I was just sitting by the door, you know, and everybody was getting in. Every person above 40 had a belly. I saw a picture of 1930s, this Madurai Meenakshi temple. And at that time in India, mostly people did not wear anything on top, just like a mundu or
True.
chadar, you know. Everybody, my friend sent me this picture and he said, what do you see? Everybody has a flat belly. What happened today? Man or woman above 40 or above 35. In fact, Dr. Burke makes a video. Why do Indians have pot bellies? And I was like ashamed, like an American doctor is making a video on Indian bellies. It's because of eating too much carb. So then, I just want to show you one picture. So then, I took yoga very seriously in order to reverse my diabetes. And in order to curve the belly, finally I got to the, I worked very hard and in a couple of years I was able to flatten the belly with the poses.
That's amazing.
So in Ayurveda, basically it's asking you to eat the right food. So you need more protein. So I reduced rice or wheat, completely eliminated, and eating at the right time only when you are hungry. Another principle, if you follow, eat only when you are really hungry. Sleeping at the right time. Don't eat heavy food and sleep. Then you will see that. Um, then you will see that you can manage diabetes. The other thing that happens, one last point. There's so many things, but I'm just sharing you the most important points. The other thing in Ayurveda, it explains that diabetes means, see, most of the diabetes today, type 2, is you should, anybody who is interested in knowing if they are pre-diabetic or diabetic, they should do a C peptide test, not just blood sugar. HbA1c is okay, but C peptide. C peptide tells you how much high insulin levels you have. Because what happens is because of stress, moment you eat something, your insulin just shoots up. And when your insulin shoots up, it converts that food into belly fat. And that's what is happening. Instead of digesting, it's becoming belly fat. That's why they say intermittent fasting, this, that. But not everybody is able to follow it in the long run. In Ayurveda, we call it loss of ojas. So you have fat, you have energy, but your body is not able to access it because you have lost ojas. So that's why one of the most important foods in Ayurveda to counter uh, diabetes or anything else is to have ghee regularly. The problem, one of the foods now we say a lot of buzzwords, seed oils, right? Everybody's talking about seed oils not being good, and which is true. In India, everybody used ghee only. Nobody used. This was a modern construct to use these engine oils. For example, um, this rapeseed oil, which they call today the canola oil. It was actually an industrial oil which was meant for tanks. But in the Second World War, they built so much capacity. Now they didn't know what to do with this oil. So they hydrogenated it. Let's sell it to the people. We'll make money out of this. And actually, heart diseases started skyrocketing in the 80s after these oils became mainstream. So you see, so the protein and fat, right? Our dal, sprouts, sabji, ghee, if you have. So my diet consists of this much. So we started making herbal ghee and selling it as a part of our diabetes reversal program. And if you replace your OJs, if you improve, so even if you don't have, it takes 10 years to get to diabetes. Most people are on the way. I was surprised when I started my thesis. I realized 50% of India, 50% of America is pre diabetic.
Yes, yeah, it's amazing like how you were trying to tackle the most common problem for everyone, like not only a single age group, like covering both the genders, like kind of it's nice with simple subtle changes in our diet and the time we eat and how we link our like body and mind to the circadian rhythm. Like it's very nice to know means I was also of an assumption that chronic diseases, like once you hit, it's for a lifetime. But reversing the chronic diseases, like especially the diabetes, which is the like one of the hot topic in nowadays, and it's like having a lot, and everybody is willing to change, like the way they are eating and everything. That's very nice, like how they want to educate themselves and bring small changes into their lifestyle to reverse diabetes.
Yeah,
So
go
thank
to the
you.
causative factor. Like
Sure, yes.
what
Going to the
what
root
caused it?
right.
Change it.
And go
Yeah.
back. Yes, that's true. Means most of the time, like we hear like saying that, okay, it's genetic. My father had it or my mom had it. Like, I mean, rather than that, like with all the facilities we have or with the
Right.
education we have and the exposure, like, and all the knowledge that you are sharing with us, trying to implement the small
Wait,
changes to the day life.
that's a very good point. I just want to add one sentence to that. Very good point that you mentioned is that many people say it's genetic. Genetic makes you prone, but it's not fatal.
Yes,
If you make the required changes, you can prevent it.
yes, true. Nature and nurture effect. That's true.
Right. I
Yes.
just
Thank
thought of
you.
that
Yeah.
point.
Okay, thank you. And a quick question to Dr. Amit ji. Could you share like a story about how like you have brought like Ayurveda and yoga together in a way that it really made a difference for someone in your clinical practice? So, like sometimes we want to know the examples, like uh, to see how everything works out over the time period.
Yes, thank you. So I will continue the same story about dosha, and let me give you my own example that when I found out. So if someone asked me before 2015 whether I really believed in Ayurveda, the answer was no. And I came across an article in 2015 which was published in Nature magazine, and I will highly recommend that you all can check it out. The
Sure.
relationship between Ayurveda and genetics. And that was the first
Mhm.
time I read an article where our dosha, pitta dosha, kapha dosha, vata dosha, which are actually given to us in some way when we are born in terms of genetic code. Actually, there was a clear cut relationship between genetic or genome analysis and the dosha.
Yes.
That's what opened my eyes. The second thing which opened my eyes, then I started knowing who I am, and I found out that my main predominant dosha is pitta dosha. Now, I talk to you about the basic characteristic of dosha, Now we also then we need to understand the imbalance. So yes, the composition is important, which is given through the genetic code. But what is important is the imbalance. So when a dosha becomes imbalanced, what happens? So example is someone with a pitta dosha predominant, but when they go out of balance, it can create problems. And one of the problem is the acidity problem, hyperacidity, what we call GERD, peptic ulcer disease. The other issues can be hypertension, cardiovascular, migraine headaches, skin rashes, eye problem. These are the predominant medical problems which occur when the pitta dosha goes out of balance. The similarly, so in myself, giving one example, that I had actually lot of acid problems, and I was practicing. So I used to take samples left and right. But when I came to know about Ayurveda and the dosha imbalance and how to balance the pitta dosha, and then since almost last 8-9 years, I'm following those principles. And as of now, for I would say last 4-5 years, I do have to take some medicine, but that would be like occasional, maybe 2 or 3 times in a whole year, as opposed to every day or almost every day. So there are some food habits, there are some food which can make your pitta dosha go further imbalance. Instead of that, there are some medicines or there are some food and herbs which can balance the pitta dosha. So knowing your dosha is one aspect. The second aspect is which dosha out in your body, vata, pitta, and kapha, has gone out of balance, and how do you balance? So in the Ayurveda, it's all about balance. In fact, I would highly encourage you all to read what is the definition of health, perfect health in Ayurveda. It is so amazing, and I have not found a better definition of health and wellness in any other healing system than Ayurveda. And this is what it says: Samadosha samagniche samadhatu malakriya prasanna atmendriya manaha swastya iti abhidhiyate. Meaning thereby someone who has balanced dosha, balance samagni means balanced metabolism, balanced dhatus means balance the body tissues, a normal excretionary and secretory function, and mind, body, and spirit, atmendriya manaha, mind, body, and spirit, which is a prasanna, he is considered the most healthy person. So it is all about balance in Ayurveda. And once we know ourselves, but it's not about knowing ourselves. Out of 3 dosha, which dosha has gone out of balance? So say, for example, in a kapha dosha, when it goes out of balance, you have obesity, difficult to lose weight, you are depressed, and those are even diabetes type 2, it, to some degree is a kapha dosha imbalance problem.
And I think that these doshas will not, like, it's once you recognize your dosha, it's like at different time points you might have different type of dosha too. Even that
Yes,
may,
yes.
it's not only like once we realize, okay, this is how
No.
I am. So, but at different time points, and age is another factor, and also the situations, and also a lot of stress that with the things that going around. So I think the dosha changes, if I understand right, at
Yes,
different
yes,
time
very
points
much
too.
so, very much so. And the last thing about vata dosha, which actually in US, in fact, the most, and vata dosha is considered the most delicate dosha. In fact, it is considered the king of all dosha because it is so delicate. It can go out of balance, even change of season, different times of the day. But whole US lifestyle is such we see a lot of Vata dosha imbalance. That means ADHD, stress, anxiety, insomnia. These are all Vata dosha imbalance related disorders, which are very much reasonably we can prevent it or we can manage it. But that just wanted to tell you about
Yeah,
my
sure.
story and how the dosha knowledge will help
Sure.
us in balancing by changing the diet and lifestyle.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Amit ji. I know it's the biggest challenge for you. Like when you try to introduce like Ayurveda or yoga principles to this modern audience, for sure. Like I know we have the roots in India, but still, as we moved here and with all the work pressure or like the environmental factors we have here, uh, sometimes we forget some of those basic things that we learn when we are young. So thanks for sharing about that. And I would like to add on one question to Yogi Nataraj. So I know you bring like spiritual element into your work, and like how does this spiritual concern like play a role in healing? Like, means can we know from more from your perspective? I know like most of us prevention is better than cure for sure, but with this busy lifestyle or sedentary lifestyle, and like we would like to know if we are missing some of the spiritual element which we have. Like most of the talks we talk about the food or diet or exercise, and definitely yoga for sure, uh, but bringing the spiritual component or the mindful eating or mindfulness, like being at the present moment, how it's like helps to cure some of the chronic diseases or like
Actually, just adding to the definition, that definition itself ends with spirituality. What Amiji was saying, it was beautiful. Samadosha, samagnisya, samadhatu, malakriyaha, prasanna atmendriya manaha.
it's the mind.
So, Ayurveda says one should be prasanna. So, my Guruji used to always ask, I used to get confused. He said, are you blissful? So, he used to ask that question, are you blissful? So, prasanna. So, prasanna means to be happy. So, in mind, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Raga Dvesha Vimuktestu Vishayan Indriyescharan Atma Vashair Vidayatma Prasadamadi. One who is happy, Raga Dvesha. So, for example, I don't like something. Okay, I don't like something. For example, when I started spirituality, one of my biggest addiction was cricket. So I was trying to, so then I was trying to say, oh, it wastes so much time, this, that. But you should come to a point where it doesn't disturb your mind at all. Something that doesn't, because our biggest wealth is time, right? And every moment we should use to make the mind better. Right? Prasanna Atma Indriya, senses, purify the senses, Atma Indriya, Manaha. Atma also means intelligence. So, spirituality is also called as Buddhi Yoga. In Buddhi, Buddhi means intelligence. For example, what is knowledge? I was amazed to find there is no other book which defines knowledge. So in Bhagavad Gita, knowledge is defined as understanding three things. Like I was once giving a lecture to group of PhDs. I asked them, okay, you're all PhD. What is knowledge? Nobody could define. Nobody could define knowledge. Oh, we did say we know something, but what is knowledge? But Bhagavad Gita tells you, knowledge means to understand three things. Jnana, matter, spirit, and controller of both. So your body is a combination of matter and spirit, Atma, right? And controller of both. But you are not in control. Somebody else is in control, just like sun and the moon.
Mhm.
No government is controlling it.
Yes, that's true.
You are born, and without your control, you are forced to grow up, you are forced to die. But who is controlling? Right? So Bhagavad Gita says, ask these questions. And once you know the answer, then you know where you are going. So you have no fear of death. Because you know where you are going, you know where you came from. So the Atma so there is in Bhagavad Gita, the concept of karma is there to tell you what to do to get a better who you are, what to do to get a better destination. And you can actually see, like I remember my great grandfather, when he left his body, he said, "Today I'm going to leave my body." He sat in front of his temple and he did meditation, and he left his body right there. So he was a priest. But you can understand that they had that level of attention. Then I read Yoga Sutras. In the Yoga Sutras, it says that if one is not jealous, like life is all about jealousy, right? He got Ford, I need Ford. He got Tesla, I want Tesla, right? So it says what happens with that, your mission of life is gone. Like in Mahabharata, we see this she was kidnapped, right, by Bhishma. Bhishma kidnapped from Gandhara Desh, Ambika, right, for Shantanu. Then what happened? Shantanu did not marry her. She got abandoned. Then she wanted to kill Bhishma. So she could not kill in that body. So she died with that desire and she came back as Shikandi. Right? And it's there. But it is to tell us, it's a true thing because it's history. But we have to understand that is to tell us an example as long as you have these material desires. So if you understand the technique, so for me, getting rid of diabetes was not just a physical effort, but what caused it? Stress. Why are you having stress? So, are you not having expertise? Are you not expert at your work? Are you not balancing your time? So, we have to balance our material necessities, needs, expertise, everything along with the knowledge. Just like Arjuna, he heard Bhagavad Gita, he did not go to ashram. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, he fought the battle. So you have to fight your battle. So every day is battle for everybody. Everybody is in battlefield. But Krishna said, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayudhyacha. When you do this, always remember, I am the controller. I am in control. Don't worry. Always remember me. Right? So when you do, so that is why every day one should have balanced food, because it also says if you overeat, like today, snacking is one of the biggest thing. Talking about health, there is so much snacks. For example, at one point, Haldiram's was banned for some time. Haldiram snacks, right? You know why? Because of excess pesticide. In a few days, that news went away from everywhere. Why? It's not just them, but everybody, because they export so long, they use so much pesticide, because otherwise, all these little things. So imagine you are eating heavy foods, wrong foods, snacking too much. Then what happens? Mind becomes disturbed. So eating in a very disciplined way, sleeping at the right time. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yukta hara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. How to get rid of all pains in life? Yukta hara, eating the right food as per the Ayurvedic dosha. Like Amit ji gave the beautiful example. He had acidity, he balanced the pitta dosha, acidity went away. So don't eat foods. For example, what is pitta dosha aggravated with? Heavy chili, heavy spices, hot foods, all these things, garam masala. So you stop all that. Okay? You know, understand that this is causing, so you eat only that which balances you. Like I was Vata Pitta Dosha, Vata, very lean, right? So I was prone to too much air, gas, and all that. So I stopped eating dry things, fried, all these different things. So what happens with that? Your gas, all these things increases. So you eat only that which suits you. Yukta hara viharasya. Go to a place where your mind is soothed. Like if you come to Las Vegas, you have two options. One, you can go to a disco club also, right? Or second, you have an option to go to Red Rock. Yeah? So you can go to Red Rock Mountain and you can do a nice. I find the treks are amazing. Grand Canyon right here. It's so beautiful. You are a yukta chesta. Then your desires in life should be economical. It should be possible, and it should be like something that will make your life better. Yukta chestasya karmasu. Be expert at what you're doing and do it nicely. Yukta swapna avabodhasya. Sleep at the right time. One of the biggest causes of diabetes is late night sleeping. People who sleep late night, what happens? Their growth hormones get suppressed. So muscles are not replaced and you get into a chronic condition. Avabodhasya, wake up at the right time. Yogo bhavati dukkha. And in this way, what happens? Dukkha. No more pain. And this is a necessary condition before you get into spirituality. Hmm? So, to put it in a simple terms, every day one should have a strong sadhana. Means you should do something positive like yoga, meditation, japam, or something that will improve the mind, because what you put into the mind reacts accordingly.
Yeah, but like kind of positive thinking and thinking in a, like being grateful to for all the opportunities we have here.
Right.
I really like the way like you were bringing the universal force, like definitely uh, going in sync with the sun and moon cycle. So
Correct.
it's a lot to learn from them for sure. So yeah, thanks Yogiraji for like bringing up the topic of being adding the spiritual element into our day-to-day life.
Right.
Sure. So right now we are like we're at 12:10, so I think the call will go till 12:30. So I have one last question for both of you. Um, like I know for sure whatever you shared so far is very useful. So we know it can be overwhelming trying to create the healthy habits, especially with the kids, like somehow like younger kids and or like with all the health issues. So what's this like can you suggest us like a small manageable change that people can make for themselves and their children that make a real difference over time? So I know for sure like many of the audience were thinking like along with us we want the teens and also the kids to be raised in a healthy way so that they can healthy habits can be imprinted as they move around in their journey. So can you share us some of your like some of the tips? I mean, I shouldn't say tips when it comes to the health, like implementing multiple things into our daily life. Uh, but can you share us your thoughts on that?
Yes, I can share some very useful tips.
Thanks, Amit.
One of the most important thing about Ayurveda is dinacharya, which is basically a routine. And I think that also can be taught to our children. The routine is so important. And if I describe a simple way, again, early morning waking up is a great habit, which may take some time. But as soon as you wake up, if you start the day with the thanking the universe,
Yes, that's true.
that
Gratitude.
that thankfulness is one of the most important thing, and it is not only a spiritual philosophical piece. I think it has a tremendous impact on the health,
Yeah, and it's
because
scientifically proven also. Like once you show gratitude to the universe, definitely you will get it back in the spiritual concept. But at the same time, multiple hormones in your body is like trying to engage
yes.
your brain and being thankful.
So the gratitudeness is so important. As you all know, body has two important systems. One is a sympathetic system, another is a parasympathetic system. Sympathetic system is prepares you for flight and fight. Parasympathetic system is a healing process, and we cannot have sympathetic system all the time stimulated, because then if you use the sympathetic system on a chronic basis, then it will really result in a lot of disease process. So the gratitude, number one. Number two, know your dosha, the imbalance, and based on that, a subtle change in the diet. And I'll give you one example. But the other thing I tell all my patients, get rid of Pepsi, Coke, or any soft drink. Number one. And in fact, I don't keep in my house, even if I have a social party, everybody knows that they come to my place, they will not get Coke or Pepsi or even fruit juice. If you want to eat fruit, eat the whole fruit, not fruit juice.
Yes.
So everybody knows that. Now it's a hard decision, but I
Good.
would recommend strongly not to keep any soft drinks or fruit juices. That's a easy and very, very
Yes.
impactful
One step
tip.
at a time.
And
That's true.
Natarajan can have other more tips, but I'm just kind of giving you a very simple, important tips.
Yes, yeah, multiple like digestive problems or the chronic diseases, especially colorectal related. So for sure are related to the, like as you said, the high fructose, which we get from Coke and all these fruit juices. So it's like it's nice that you touched upon it, and I can say scientifically for sure it messes up multiple pathways in our body, and like behind the scene, like we might be thinking, okay, I'm drinking Coke from last 10 years but I'm healthy, but it's not true. Something inside the body is like it's harming your system one time at a time, and as we age they might show up. So thanks, that's a nice suggestion. And Yogi Nataraji, do you have any suggestions for us, like so that we can use in a daily life?
Right. So, very good point that this takes 12 years to build up, 12 years of Pepsi drinking. Till then, you may not have any symptoms. So, basically, the principles, if you see, have your major meal at noon. I know it's difficult, but if you carry your meals, okay, eating late night is one of the biggest problems of today. If you want to get rid of the belly, so mornings have light breakfast. For example, I have 10 or 20 almonds, okay, and chia lemonades, okay, and dinner should be like soups or something like that, very light, because your body doesn't have the power to digest. Like you eat a full meal, your body has to grind it. That's why it converts into fat. So we have this book called Detox Delights. You can get it on Amazon. So it has all the recipes if you're interested. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, we made it accordingly. According to these principles, we have made these recipes. I also have a book on mudra. You can get this on Amazon. And if you go to our website, we have herbal ghee. Okay. Now, the most important tip I want to give you is if you really want healthy diet in Ayurveda, the essence, what I have found in every cleansing process, every digestive process is enhanced with ghee. Now, the the point is about the quality ghee. That is important. Okay, many people think ghee is fat, right? Actually, when they did, in fact, I found the opposite. Ghee brings you good fat. In fact, my HDL is like very high, very good, very well balanced. After taking, I take 10 to 12 spoons of ghee because every day I practice 1.5 hours yoga. And what I found was that all these other fats that are there, Ayurveda recommends only two oils: sesame oil or coconut oil, or the most important is ghee. All the other oils are actually scientifically also what I found was they have low ApoB particles. They are the ones that cause the cholesterol, the heart blockage. But with ghee, in fact, some of my clients they take our herbal ghee. So we have Brahmi, Trikatu, and all that, with which their heart this clogging has improved with this because they are higher ApoB particles. It depends on the quality of the ghee. So we make it ourselves. And what I realized was the quality of the food that you have. For example, almonds in the morning, right? It gives you ojas. In Ayurveda, the three concepts: ojas, tejas, prana. So if you have ojas, your body is held together. Tejas means high intelligence. Prana means your ability to move. Hmm? So what I found is the essence of food is ojas. Essence of your activities is tejas. and essence of your exercise movement is prana. So one needs to have an exercise every day. Okay, even if you are doing yoga or some form of exercise, if you cannot do anything, at least climb. Most people say we do walking 1.5 hours. It does some benefit, but simple thing you can do, you can start walking in incline. Because in the beginning, when my diabetes was discovered, I was so weak, I could not do any heavy exercise. I showed you my picture of that yoga, but it took me years to get there. But in the beginning, I became so weak. So I started climbing, and that built up strength slowly. The heart rate improved, heart improved. And after that, everything started. So you can do the simplest thing, climb inclines.
Yes, as we age, like the muscle also try to deplete. So, but like with the inclination and like especially with incline walking or like weight exercise, definitely the muscle builds up, and which is what we need like moving forward at this stage.
Correct. And one point, last point I would like to add is I told one of my friends, he said, I cannot find a hill anywhere near my place. I said, just climb your stairs 10 times. Simple thing.
Yeah, and especially like our Surya Namaskaras and all those, like definitely they have some like
Oh, powerful.
lot of benefits with like if the people can't find an incline thing, definitely doing Surya Namaskaras for 11 times that might help. Means
Right.
get the body.
Yeah. So if you follow these simple tips, having main main meal as lunch,
Sure.
giving at least 24 minutes in one gatika exercise, and then eating light morning, evening, and having mainly healthy, no snacking, avoid snacking, and eat, because snacking actually raises insulin a lot. So, and then just having quality ghee, butter, healthy fats and proteins in your diet, you will see that, there's no disease that can come to you. Or even if something is there, you can balance it out.
Sure. Amit, coming to the medical perspective, do you have any suggestions for us? Like I know that
Yes.
daily health checkup, like regular health checkups, will help, but at the same time, uh, bringing the Ayurveda and yoga principles into our healthy habits.
Yes, yes, yes. So again, Ayurveda, not only Dincharya, again, the nutrition or food is so important. In fact, I was going to suggest Naveen ji to change the way the Indian restaurants function and give the name of the restaurant as a Ayur Cafe. What it
Done.
means,
That's a good
what it
suggestion for
means,
sure.
what it means that when somebody comes in and is ordering dosa, there are three distinct type of variety. One is for kapha variety, pitta variety, and a vata variety. And it has a tremendous impact on their health and physiology. Actually, there is a actually such cafe, Ayur Cafe. I think is someone has started on the West Coast. Someone told me. Similarly, there are three different types of tea, herbal tea, based on kapha, vata, and pitta dosha. But yes, the most important thing what I wanted to emphasize a point that what I practice is an integrative Ayurveda. We know that Ayurveda is big on prevention, lifestyle, nutrition. When it comes to the emergency, we are always going to use the modern medicine.
Yes.
However, I believe that the Ayurveda can be very nicely integrated
Yes.
with the modern medicine. They are not opposite in that sense. In fact, Maharshi Ayurvedic University in Iowa, we have been, through our Ayurveda consortium, we have started a unique program for actually resident physician that they can actually take a 2-year course of integrative medicine where Ayurveda now is officially part of the curriculum. So University of Arizona and Maharshi Ayurvedic University has now, we have broken that ice after working with, in the medical establishment, that Ayurveda now has been accepted officially as a part of curriculum for resident physician who wants to pursue integrative medicine. along with the Ayurveda. And
That's
Dr.
really nice. We have like lots of
She is
literature
the
in Ayurveda that we don't know yet. In the modern medicine, like
yes,
integrating
yes.
both of them, like
So
definitely good. Like
Dr. Dr. Arti Prasad is an active faculty member there. She's part of our core Ayurveda consortium team. We work with Dr. Charles Elder and a lot of other API members to really introduce the CME for practicing physician in Ayurveda. So they can integrate Ayurveda on a day-to-day practice in a way. I would also suggest, Naveen ji, that we should really have this, not this only episode, but we should have a series. In fact, at least every 2-3 months
Yes.
on the same this thing. And I know it has been almost 1 hour, but I wanted to suggest that we should not stop here. We should really create a core team. We would love that TTA becomes part of Ayurveda consortium. We
Awesome.
have community organizations that we can do much more and really make Ayurveda, just like yoga is so much popular, we can make Ayurveda and Vedic philosophies popular in a meaningful way in American life.
sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amit bhai. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we should do. Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope like all the audience who are in the call today or like who are sharing the recording to their friends to get your powerful suggestions. And I really wish like at least few of them we incorporate like all the Ayurvedic principles or the yoga practice into our daily routine, like not like just occasionally but regularly. And we have a quick question from the audience. Like I know it might interest everyone. So they say like, please guide us with an alternative food for sweet tooth. So do you have any suggestions for that?
Alternative food for
Sweet tooth.
Sweet tooth.
sweet tooth. So,
Craving for sweets.
Nataraj can mention, but what I have done myself, I have gotten rid of the refined sugar, actually, and we try to use more jaggery. There are a lot of other different ways to sweeten the food, natural, available ingredients. Sometimes you can use banana. There are some items where you can use honey. Of course, honey is something you cannot heat it. So in a way that, so there are different alternatives that one can use naturally. By the way, sweet is one of the tastes which should not be completely gotten rid of. All the six tastes. So our food should be prepared in a way that it has almost all the six different tastes. So sweet is not bad. It is just we have to make sure how we are doing it.
Yes, and
And I
also
think
being
raw,
mindful like of the quantity or the preparation process, like
yes.
being mindful while we are taking any sweets. That should be good.
Refined sugar, let's get rid of refined sugar, and instead of that, replace with the organic jaggery. Now there are a lot of different types of jaggery. I see the base jaggery is organic and the most basic brown. I see there are light colored jaggery which are chemically treated and whatnot. So there is a whole series of things that one has to think about it. But there are so many other food which has natural sweetening by itself, like beet is one of them actually. So there are things that can be used in the food that is something that can help for the sweet teeth. So, and sweet is not bad. It's all about overconsumption of carbs,
And the source of
especially refined carbs. Refined carb is a problem. So that's just one suggestion.
Right. And we found that, like in our research, was that little amount, of course, in diabetes, I'm talking about diabetes, right? So in that, all sugars are, of course, a little difficult to digest, but maple syrup was a little bit better compared to others. So if you take moderate amounts of maple syrup and little bit jaggery, it's okay. Mm.
Yes.
But that's the
And
thing.
I think they don't cause inflammation, especially with
As much, yeah. And you should take it any sweet like before around lunchtime maximum, because the later in the day you take for a diabetic, it's a spike. You don't want a spike in the evening. So any sweet or heavy things for lunch is very good. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Yogi Nataraj ji and Amit ji for a wonderful session. A lot more to like revisit them and to learn more from you guys. I know like 1 hour is a short time, but we did gain a lot of knowledge. And I know like Saturday morning, it's like good thing to we were able to walk in a healthy path. So thank you very
And
much.
also, Amiji, as you said, it's not a 1 hour session. It should not be a 1 hour session, but let's do a series of that one. And let's start, Nataji, if yoga, if we can do one day yoga thing, that
Oh,
way that
sure.
will help many more people. And yes, it should be a series of events for health, because these days we are seeing a lot of heart attacks and all this stuff. So let's try to help all the participants, TTA and non-TTA people also. So let's do some next sessions pretty
Sure,
soon.
And
and I also wish
one
like in India, I know like earlier when I was small, there were very few Ayurvedic like clinics or like the shops which sell the Ayurvedic products. But now it's a lot, and I wish to see the same in here in United States, like a lot of Ayurvedic products and also the people consuming them and benefiting from them. And the way the initial step that you took integrating Ayurveda and bringing our Vedic principles back into this modern science, it's really helpful to us.
Thank you. One event which I want to invite everybody, that we are actually for the first time we are organizing an Ayurveda retreat
Mhm.
in November, between November 11 to 16 in Fairfield, Iowa, which is the hub of Maharshi Ayurvedic University. Remember, Maharshi Ayurvedic University is actually the fountainhead. I consider the fountainhead of Ayurveda in America. And they are the only accredited university which prepares Ayurvedic physicians, and not only Ayurvedic physician, but they offer Master of Science, MS in Ayurveda, health coach in Ayurveda, PhD in Ayurveda, like Natarajan is following. So we will be really glad to have TTA as a part of community organization to really become part of it, and we can do lot more. And it's not about only Ayurveda. There is a meditation component. There
Yes,
are spiritual components. So there is lot that we can do together.
correct.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank
That's what
you.
I was thinking too. And Srikanth, if you can you schedule a couple of sessions with Nataraji and Amit Shah and Santosh from Charlotte, who is a cardio also. So let's do some useful sessions, and that way everybody will be healthy as long as they live. So let's try
Sure,
out.
sure, Anna, sure, Anna.
Yes.
And thank you, Amit ji, and also thank you,
Thank
Nataraj
you.
ji, for your valuable session. And
Thank
also
you so
special
much.
thanks to our Latha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Latha, you're awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Thanks to all the participants, and thanks Amit bhai and Nataraji. Latha.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
to
to
all
all
my
the
easy
audience. Yeah, thanks.
executive committee group. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to TTA for the wonderful opportunity, and I hope all the audience enjoyed it. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Nicely organized. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nataraj.
Thank you.
Thanks. Closing. Yeah, closing the event.